it's that time of year again. It's time to sign up for the Vernon Hills Pageant. And what better way to learn about the Vernon Hills Pageant and how fun it is and how helpful it is than by talking to our Vernon Hills Queens. We're proud to be joined today by our 3 queens. We will get to talk to in a minute Kate Anderson. She's our Little Miss. She's ready to go. We've got our Junior Miss, who's the in-between age, Tania Henry. And then we've got Miss Vernon Hills right here. She's been waiting patiently, Brianna Oshiro. Yep. And thanks for joining us. And you're first up, so we like to get to know you. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Now, you're going to Illinois State, right?
Yes, Illinois State University. I'm a freshman there.
And what are you studying?
Well, right now my major is social work, but I'm working on moving my major over to elementary education so that I can focus more on helping smaller kids.
Oh, that's incredible, and it's a great school for that. And prior to that, you went through Vernon Hills High School, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so some people might remember you from there. If you're watching at home, especially when our younger girls are watching, they can remember who you are. So now let's talk a little bit about, we learned what you like to do. You're a helping person. And I watched a little bit about some of your videos and some of the last year, and I know that you find it very important to empower young people and to have a good mental outlook and in communication and everything. Can you talk a little bit about your platform and what you really are passionate about?
Yeah, so I made my platform this year, I called it #MentalHealthAwareness. It just became really important to me because of my personal struggles with mental health and my friends' struggles with mental health. I just saw how not everyone around me, but a lot of people around me were really struggling with it, and that it wasn't being talked about in a non-stigmatized way. And I wanted to do my best to be able to do all I can to fix that.
That is incredible, and especially now, I think too, I don't know if you agree with me, but during the pandemic, we were isolated. It becomes harder to make connections and feel that everything's going on, so it is really a tough time, and you as young people don't have as much to gauge it against. I'm old, so I've been through ups and downs in life, but what a remarkable and important conversation to encourage everybody to have. So that's what I wanted to point out too about the pageant. We think sometimes of a pageant being all sparkle, but there's a lot of meat and potatoes and a lot of hard work you guys do. You did a lot of work in addition to calling attention and encouraging everybody to reach out and get help. You did just stuff to help the whole community. Can you talk a little bit about that, about some of those events you took part in to help the community? I saw there were blankets being made and all kinds of things.
Yeah, so the blankets you brought up were the Vernon Hills blanket making event that we do annually every year. All 3 of us queens hosted it, and we all get all of the Lake County queens together, and we all make tie blankets to donate to the PADS homeless shelter here in Lake County. And it was just a super fun thing to organize and bring together, and to see all of our sister queens come to Vernon Hills. We had it up at the golf course across the street.
Yeah, well, and that's a great place to do stuff too. So when you think about it too, so you're doing good work, but you mentioned too you were with your sister queens, so you get to know a lot of people that you may otherwise not get to know through the pageant, because you are doing things with like the people from Mundelein and all these other towns, correct?
Yeah, I love all the girls that I've met through the Lake County system. Especially all my Miss Queens. Like, I've met a couple of my best friends there. Like, a couple of them go to Illinois State with me too, so I can see them there. Yeah, so I love, and all the littles are crazy, so I love just hanging around them.
What's that mean? Yeah, we've got a little off stage ready to go, and she takes a little bit of offense at that, but not a lot. It's a good kind of crazy. So that's the kind of work you do and the kind of things you do after you're the queen. But let's talk about the pageant itself, because that's what when people are watching, they might be thinking, I've never done a pageant before. I don't understand how to do a pageant. You know, I can go out and practice playing t-ball or basketball, but I don't know how to prepare myself for a pageant. Can you speak to that? Had you done a lot of pageants before this, and how did you know what to do?
So I had not done a lot of pageants before this. My first ever pageant was the 2019-2020 pageant, where I came first runner-up to Madison Shirello. And then this year I ran again and I won. But before that, I had no pageant experience except for when I was like 1. And my mom just kind of walked me across the stage.
Yeah.
But basically, I learned from watching the past pageants on like YouTube. I looked at, like, the internet's amazing. I just looked up how to do everything, and I just followed people who knew what they were doing.
Well, and I know they have like Zoom meetings and other meetings so that as a parent or guardian or caregiver, if you have questions, that's a chance for you to understand what this is. And, or if you're thinking about being in the pageant, those are those Zoom meetings you can go to and ask the questions. And I know you do like practices, so they don't just throw you out on stage without ever having like done anything. They get you prepped for all the questions and everything, correct?
Yeah, I don't remember perfectly, but I think this year we definitely had the Zoom, and I think it was either 2 or 3 practices, I can't remember, but that was where we got to meet all of the contestants. We got to meet last year's queens, and we got to practice running through the entire pageant.
Yeah, so everybody gets you prepped. So it
Yeah.
isn't like you have to learn anything. As somebody who's now in college and doing those kind of things, can we end with, it seems to me that this has been a good experience for you. I'm talking to you before we started. You were very positive about this, but could you give a reason why somebody should consider trying this, even if they've never done it before, to step out of their comfort zone and try it? What are the benefits to you?
Definitely, speaking from like a Miss standpoint, it definitely gives you, like, kind of cliche to say, like, life skills. Like, I was very stage shy, very just like an introvert before all of this. Like, the idea of speaking here with you would be terrifying to me before. And the idea that I can just do this freely now, like, me 2 years ago would have been like, I would never be able to do that. Like, just being able to learn how to speak to people and work with other people has been amazing to me and will be able to, I know, help me in the future.
You're a very confident, poised, well-spoken individual, and I'm glad that the pageant was a positive and great experience for you, and I hope people will hear what you have to say and take it to heart and have that experience themselves if they're thinking about it. So thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us, and thank you for all the good work you've done through being the Vernon Hills Queen and all the good things I know you're going to do coming forward.
Thank you.
Our Miss Vernon Hills 2021 is Brianna Oshiro.
Well, we're excited to get to meet our junior Miss Vernon Hills, Tynia Henry. Thanks for coming. I know you had to rush home after school. By the way, where do you go to school?
I go to school at Vernon Hills High School.
And you're a freshman this year, right?
Yes, I am.
So when you were getting ready to run for this and you were signing up, that meant you were a middle schooler.
Mm-hmm.
Which middle school did you go to?
I went to Hawthorne Middle School North.
Okay, everybody always goes, yay, Hawthorne. So, well, it's so nice to meet you and get to talk to you about this. One of the things we've been talking to, we talked to Brianna about was the pageant experience itself. And had you ever been in a pageant before? Are you like a big pageant person?
No, Vernon Hills pageant was my first pageant.
So tell me, when you got ready to make the decision to do that, I'm sure there's, some nervousness involved, but once you got there, I mean, look at the success you had. So can you talk to somebody who might be out there on the fence thinking about the pageant? What do you think? What commercial could you give for this?
So I was very nervous. It took me 2 years just watching the pageant for me to like actually do it. And so I just want to say to like overcome your fears and to try something that you've never tried before.
And it seems like once you got there, did you find it to be helpful? And it seems like everybody is so kind and welcoming and helpful. And that's not what I guess I would expect if I were watching some of the TV shows it used to be on. But was that your experience as well?
Yes, it was. I loved everyone else like who I was competing against, and like all the littles and Brianna, they were all like so sweet, and like even everyone else in like the audience after I had won, like everyone was so sweet and kind.
What a great experience, huh? Does it? And I see you smile, so I know it was a good experience
Yeah.
for you. And it seems like the whole year, I mean, I bet it's gone fast, but you guys were really busy. Even with the pandemic, you guys had a lot of activities and a lot of service projects you did.
Yes.
Is there anything that stands out that you'd like to share, like any one of those events that you remember fondly?
Yeah, one of the events would just have to be probably the 4th of July parade, because that was the first event where I like really got to see a lot of queens and like in their crowns and sashes and just see the impact of how many women have made like such a huge impact in their neighborhoods and communities.
That's the truth. It's all about empowering not just you as the queens, but everybody that you come in contact,
Yes.
because you guys are such a positive force. You're just exceptional that way. And I know you did things all year round. I saw pictures on Facebook. You sang and you did all sorts of things. And it's so nice to hear that it was a great experience. Can you give us one more before we end? Encouragement to somebody who might be nervous like you were. How to get ready and just give it a try.
Just do it. It's
Just
like,
do it.
Yeah. If you feel like that you want to do something but you're scared, don't let that anxiousness overcome you. Like you overcome the anxiousness. So do it and just see what happens, because the outcome is never as bad as you think.
That's right. What could go wrong? You meet a whole bunch of people
Yeah.
and you make a lot of new friends. What's bad about that? So, well, congratulations to you.
Thank
you for all
you.
you did this year.
Thank
And
you.
I hope you enjoy the ending of your reign. But thank you so much for all you've done, and we hope to see you again in the future.
Thank you.
Our junior Miss Vernon Hills 2021 is contestant number 3, Tydea.
Well, now we get the chance to meet our little Miss Vernon Hills. We called her the little before. She's been waiting to talk with Kate Anderson. So thank you for taking the time to talk today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, wonderful. So let's talk about this. Now, first of all, I was talking to your mom. So you're a Christ Lutheran preschool alumni,
I am.
right? And now
Yes.
your mom homeschools you.
Yes, she does.
Yeah, she's the best teacher ever.
She is.
Yeah, she is. Pretty cool. And then you do a lot of you have a lot of talents and interests besides being the Little Miss of Vernon Hills. I understand you do all kind of dancing.
Yes, I do. I do a lot of dancing.
Yeah. So what's the group you dance with?
I dance at Jenny's Dance Center.
Jenny's Dance Center. And you said you do all the kinds. Like,
I do everything. Yes,
Yeah.
all
So
kinds
like,
of dance.
do you do like ballet and I can name
yeah.
anything and you will
You can
know how
name
to do.
anything. Yeah.
Excellent. So you are a dancer.
Yeah.
But then, so you were used to kind of being in the spotlight a little bit.
Yeah.
So then, when it was time for the pageant, had you ever done a pageant before this?
No, I have never done like any pageant before this. This was my first time ever doing a pageant.
So what made you decide to do it?
Well, I saw like my mom's on Facebook, so she was like, she was scrolling and she's like, oh, Kate's like an extrovert, so this would be good for her. And I was supposed to do the pageant last year, and then they moved it to when I was away, so I couldn't do it. And then a couple or a couple months before it, I saw the sign at like the park, and I'm like, "Hey, Mom, can I do this pageant again?" Because
it was,
I
so you
wanted to know.
yeah, so you got to do it then.
I
this time.
did. I
Yeah.
did get to do this.
Well, and there were a lot of girls you got to meet too, weren't there?
I did. I got to meet a lot of people during
Yeah,
the
well, and
pageant.
not just in the pageant from Vernon Hills, so you got to meet a lot of people from Vernon Hills.
Yeah, I did.
But then after you won, you get to meet a ton of people
Yeah.
from all over the place.
Yeah, I get to meet like probably 50 people.
I was going to say, and as an extrovert, how fun is that to have that many people?
A
So,
lot
right?
of fun. Yeah.
Well, so let's talk about the pageant again. So you'd been a dancer, so you were used to that, but tell me about your pageant experience. Was it, I'm sure it was exciting, and you probably had a little bit of nervousness, but
Yeah.
you knew how to do it because they helped you, correct?
Yeah, they did help me a lot. It's not like just come on stage and just walk whenever. It's like you actually need to learn the walk, and you write a speech, and then you talk about the speech, and it's.
Yeah, so when you're prepared before you even go on there. There's no surprises for
Yeah,
you.
it's no surprises except for pop question, but it's not really even a surprise.
And the pop questions aren't
They aren't hard.
hard. It's
It's
not
not
hard like
like-
talking to me.
Yeah. No, it's kind of like your opinion about things. It's not really like
It isn't
it's
like
a correct answer.
Yeah,
Like,
so it's not like a
about an
math
opinion.
problem.
Yeah,
it's
not
literally
like, a
like
math
something
problem.
that you would know what you'd want
Yeah.
to say. And the other thing I always like to talk to the girls about is everybody is really kind, because it's about being kind and helpful and a good role model. So it isn't like people aren't angry at each other. They're wanting to help each
Yeah,
other.
they're all nice and they're all very kind to us.
That's nice to know. And you did an awful lot of things this year.
I did.
I saw pictures of you on Facebook, like singing. I saw pictures of you, we talked to Brianna about making blankets. I saw that
Yeah.
you helped at dances and everything. What was one thing that you really remember and really liked that will stick with you that you can think of? There's probably a lot of
There's
things.
a lot of things.
Yeah.
But I really did like the Blinking Naked event because I got to just have so much fun with all of my sister queens, and I just love to donate and to help other people because, I have so many things as the queen. Not everybody has
No,
that
that's
stuff.
true. That's true. And those blankets all went to the shelter.
Yes, they all
So
went
they
to Pads
all went
of
to
Lake
really
County.
good use. The Pads of Lake County is a wonderful organization,
It
so it was
is.
a really good choice for you guys to do your activities. So,
Yeah.
well, in closing, if you had like somebody come up to you, or somebody's parent or guardian came up to you and said, "Boy, we were talking about the pageant, but I don't know. I don't know if it would be hard, or I don't know if I should try." What do you think you'd say to them?
I would probably say it's not hard at all. It's very fun. It's definitely fun. And once you kind of like know what you're doing, it's not that you don't get nervous that much because it's all about like the experience, win or lose, because, just being able to go on stage and to speak and to like answer questions is honestly just a great life skill to have. And
That's true. Yeah, and plus all those friends you made.
I know. It's
I mean, just like
even
ginormous
yeah.
amount of friends. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. And all the good work you got
Yeah.
to do.
It was
So,
fun.
well, it's so nice to meet you. Thank you for all the work you did this year.
Thank you.
And I know you've got a few more months, so you'll probably do way more stuff
lot.
still. And we look forward to seeing you at the pageant when you give your goodbye. And then we look forward to seeing what more is in store for you. I know we'll see you again. So thank you so
you.
much.
Our new Little Miss Vernon Hills 2021 is contestant number 2, Kate Anderson.
Well, now it's time to talk to the ladies in charge. We're talking to the Vernon Hills coordinators of the pageant. Kelly O'Brien, nice to see you again, and Ms. Karen Kalinowski is nearby, however, not on camera, but everybody knows who she is anyway. So if you see her on the street, ask her a question, she'll answer. So
Absolutely.
let's talk about the pageant. You have all levels of pageant because you came through the pageant system.
I did. My first introduction into pageantry was through the Vernon Hills pageant, and I've gone up the ranks, done Miss Ohio, Miss Illinois International, and still come back home to Vernon Hills to be able to help out with the pageant each and every year.
And this is a labor of love because it's a volunteer effort that you all, and it isn't just like the week before the pageant, it's like all year long you ladies are
All
working.
year, and we're helping organize events, we're making sure the queens have what they need and they're prepared for events, we're helping them prepare for county, and just making sure that they feel supported, and just women helping young women kind of grow up throughout the community.
Well, and let's talk about that because you've talked to me about that before. This is an empowering experience. This is a confidence builder. This is not a negative. This is a positive.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Very much a positive experience. It's not about the dresses you wear. It's not who paid the most money for makeup, hair, shoes. It's about who you are. It's about how you can speak to others, how you treat others. It's really about showing you can communicate and connect to others, because as a Vernon Hills Queen, you have to be able to connect with your community. We send our girls out in the 4th of July parade, Rib Fest, and those are all times when we want our girls to go out and talk to people. So really we promote connectivity, and we've also seen our queens this year and in many years past really connect with girls and queens from other towns.
Right. That's what the girls said. They get so many opportunities to meet other people from all over and make friendships and do good work, do service projects and make a difference in the world. What a great thing to be able to do, and you get to do it right here at home.
Yep.
The girls mentioned that there's a Zoom meeting coming up. So that's an awesome time for if you're a caregiver or a parent or one of the people that's interested in being the pageant. You guys are going to cover the nuts and bolts of all that.
Yeah, so come April, we're going to have a Zoom meeting, so you can find all that information on our Facebook, on our website. Go to it. We encourage families, the contestants, even if you're just remotely interested in participating in the pageant or you want to learn a little bit about it, come join it. It's a great way to learn about it, learn the wardrobe, what you need to prepare, such as speech, and know what pop question types we're going to ask, but also know the time commitments. We'll go over rehearsal dates, pageant dates, and also expectations of what it means to be a Vernon Hills Queen. You'll get to meet the queens on that meeting as well, and you can ask them questions. We also usually have their moms or caregivers on the meeting as well, so you can ask the families of the queens themselves questions. So it's really a Q&A session to get as much information as you can to know how to be successful in the pageant, how to participate in the pageant, how can we support you if you're remotely interested.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a good thing to do, even if you're just thinking 50-50 that you might do.
If you're on the fence, come to the meeting.
Then the other thing I heard you say, it isn't about the dress or the makeup or the hair or anything like that. And that you've always said, wardrobe should not be a stumbling block to participate because you've got access to dresses.
We have access to dresses, and so one thing at the meeting is if you say, hey, I don't have a dress for interview, or I have zero wardrobe to participate in that, no worries, because we have a community of Vernon Hills Queens that have extra dresses, myself included, that we are trying to pass on to other people. We want to be able to have girls borrow from each other. The first pageant I participated in was Junior Miss Vernon Hills, and I remember using a past queen's dress. It wasn't mine, I still have it, and that was one of my favorite memories, is I got on stage with the Vernon Hills pageant and I used somebody else's wardrobe. And it was just, that's the message we're spreading, is we are a family at the pageant and we can definitely help you out with wardrobe
It
stuff.
is a community. It's everybody helping each other, encouraging each other on. Whether you get a crown or not, or a sash or not, you're still in the family and you're working together for
Exactly.
And when it comes time to do the application, it's all online. It's not a terribly hard one, but it is online, and you do have a deadline of May 13th at 5 p.m.
Yep.
So, but that application is online right now, so people can start working on it.
You can start working on it, go get it answered. Very simple. We just want to know a little bit about you, and it helps our judges learn a little bit about you as well.
Well, and it helps you, I know that there's questions that get asked during the time. It helps you know how to tailor the experience to these kids too.
Exactly.
So, and when we talk about that too, there are judges, there's so many people that help out, all on a volunteer basis.
Yep.
You've got people that help with, photography and flowers and running around the day of,
Yeah.
and all those things all year round, and your families are all involved.
Yes,
in it is,
yes, they are.
But that's one of the great things about Vernon Hills is everybody pitches in.
Yeah, and we're so grateful for so many people around the village that have been able to pitch in, and also sponsors and businesses throughout Vernon Hills that will contribute to our prize packages or other events that they invite the queens to.
So if you want to find out more, if you're a business or you want to donate or sponsor, or if you want the queens to come to your stuff afterward, reach out. They're on Facebook, the website, or just shout out wherever. Somebody will find you. These people are busy. They're around town all the time. So thank you so much for what you guys do as volunteers. We appreciate you very much, and have a wonderful pageant this year.
Thank you. Thanks for having us as always.